Hello, everybody. Happy Friday, and welcome to the VML, brought to you in association with NRG Series and sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. My name is Haiyue, and I'm here with the mightiest of linguinis, Caroline Kavanagh. Caroline, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm hyped. It's exciting.
Playoff week! It's
I
playoff
know.
week!
Can you believe it's already been 7 weeks since we started?
Where did the time go?
We were last year together 7 weeks ago because we did the first week together.
Week one.
Yeah, in our
goodness.
swag, and I just wanted to prove our swag is still here. At least,
yes.
Yeah, you get at least 7 weeks of use out of it. So
time may fly by, but nobody can take your swag away from you.
Agreed.
That is the lesson we've learned. And speaking of swag, we actually have some really cool swag to give away to some top performing people a bit later on. So definitely keep a little watch out for that. Just to give everybody a rundown of where we are, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the Venus and Mercury League. We are a Magic Arena League for persons of marginalized genders. And every season we send our champion off to whatever the premier event in professional Magic is. So we don't know what that's going to look like in the upcoming season yet, but we do know that our champion is going to be one of the very first people qualified for the next professional Magic event, which is going to be coming up in this autumn. So great stuff to come. Where we are right now is that we have finished all of our weeks of division play. So all of our players have played each other in their round robins, and now we've whittled it down to the top 24. And starting from this week, they are going to be battling it out in single elimination all the way until we find a winner in 3 weeks' time. Let's have a look at the bracket and who has made it. Caroline, these are some pretty big names that we see on our list.
Yeah, and some names we've seen many seasons in a row on our list, which is pretty cool. You'll also notice that there are some. Oh gosh. 1 second. You can go ahead, Haiyue.
Right. Well, Caroline's personal robot updates her as to the status of the VML. You can see a few names there. We see Zabricus, very well-known Twitch streamer. I believe this is the first time that Zabricus has made the playoffs of the VML, despite having played in a few seasons. So congratulations to Zabricus for making it this far. We will be checking in on her match later on this evening. HG Rose under there, seed number 12, a very prolific deck builder and one of our favorite people to cover in feature matches here on the VML, mainly because she just brings decks that every time we look at them, we're like, what is happening? Yep. Let's get this on camera.
I can confirm that conversation happened 3 minutes ago when I said, what's happening with this deck?
What is this? Let's find out. Ellie of the Veil, of course, a caster here on the VML, obviously also a streamer, part of the Wizards coverage team, writes a lot of articles. Pipe Dream, that's Piper. What's Piper's? Piper Hawk? Is that right?
I'm super excited, sorry, about Ellie, because Ellie joined us for season 4 for coverage, but didn't play in season 4 because she missed the registration. And so this season she asked me, like, hey, can you make sure I know to register? So we got all the registration going, and I messaged Ellie, was like, go. So it's very impressive that as long as she's available to actually register, she does well. So that's good.
Michaela, we've seen Michaela in, I think, I'm going to say VML playoff except maybe one. She's definitely been in a lot of these playoff weeks. Great to see her here in the bracket today. Hogpog down there, seed number 11, last season's champion, of course, who represented us so well at both Cowtime and Strixhaven championships. So shout out to Hogpog. And Caroline, do you have any thoughts on these players? Any predictions?
Well, you've landed in the danger zone here in this bottom part of the bracket. There's a couple of casters and some friends of the stream, and your name there, in fact, I want to say.
Yeah, honestly, when I saw this bracket, I was like happy because I obviously had to buy, so I was like pretty happy, but also it was like a dagger in my heart. Like this last bottom quadrant is literally, I would say, the people I'm closest to / teammates, people that work on the VML with us, and we're all just crammed into this bottom half.
So selfishly, I'm actually so happy for this, only because it means that when we get to the finals for coverage, we're guaranteed to have most of the coverage team intact, because you're all eliminating
Caroline.
each other.
Wow.
So only one of you can be busy, so it's okay.
A little peek behind the curtain at how we arrange our casting schedule here at the VML, which definitely isn't just who can
Whoever's
do it this
available.
Week. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a little look at the bracket. And I wonder if we could have a look at who our first feature match of the evening is going to be. Before that, though, we are going to have a look at something that's been going on for the entire season of the VML so far, because this season, VML Season 5, Strixhaven was, of course, themed around the colleges of Strixhaven, and we had a little competition going, College Clash. And we said, right at the beginning of the season, we said, the person who has the best record after division play from each of the colleges is going to win some nice VML swag. And here we have him. The 5 leaders of each college. You can see them there with their records. Annalise from Prismari College, Rebecca Black from Quandrix, Ellie of the Vale heading up the Lawhold standings, Shadow Cloak just pipped me, can I say, to the Silver Quill champion spot, coming in at 7-0, varying, great record there from Shadow Cloak. Congratulations to them. And Ashley 6-1 there from Witherbloom. Caroline, these are some very impressive records.
Yes, very, very impressive. And some impressive colleges too. Big fan of the one in the middle there.
You're a Lawhold alumnus?
Yeah, I am, for sure.
Is it because of the big sloth that they have?
Yeah, of course it's because of the sloth. What else would it be for? The sloth is beautiful.
Well, congratulations to those 5. We will be sending out some nice t-shirts and maybe some cool tokens to all of those winners in short notice. So, and hopefully, if they are in the bracket still next week, a little bit of a teaser for next week's stream, we are going to be focusing on our 5 college champions as the feature matches for next week. So, make sure you come back and visit us once again for that. All right, let's have a look at our first feature match of the evening. It is going to be Case against Zavricus, and let's have a look. Case has brought Teamer Adventures. Caroline, tell us a little bit about this Teamer Adventures build.
Honestly, it looks pretty stock. Spoilers, we're actually going to be looking at the mirror of Teamer Adventures, and they both look so stock that I had to really make sure I had the right list for each player when I was working it all out. It's got all what you would expect. It's got your Edgewell Innkeeper opening up their inn for all the adventure creatures like Bone Crusher, Brazen Borrower, and Lovestruck Beast. And then has fun ways to win, like Aldrin's Epiphany.
So this is the Obosh version, right?
But yes, this is the Obosh version, which honestly has not been as popular. So I was kind of happy to see it. And then I was like, wow, not only is it not as popular, but also this is a mirror. Almost, I want to say like a 72-ish card mirror. So pretty funny that this deck isn't as popular, but both players decided to bring it.
Yeah, let's just have a quick look then at what Zavricus is working with, since it is very close to the mirror. And I think you're right, Caroline. I think there's only really a few sideboard slots that are different here.
Yeah, I honestly didn't count it out, but visually it did not look very different to each other. So pretty interesting. I decided for cards to watch, it's just kind of the engines of the deck. So obviously Edgewell Innkeeper, if one person has it unchecked and it's firing on all cylinders, it's going to be a pretty big part of the game. Epiphany is just a card that can really surprise lethal people, though I think with counter spells potentially in the sideboard it's not as powerful. And then the Great Henge has just always been a great mirror card. Great Henge.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
I don't know if I expected any different, but yes, it has been both a great Henge and a great mirror breaker. And so That's kind of what I just expect the games to come down to, value, whoever can get the most value out of their cards.
I have to really appreciate Zabricus's honesty here when we asked her how will you approach your matchup. She just says, hope to draw the good cards before my opponent does, which is just that's like 80% of playing the mirror.
I didn't realize I copied this over and did not change the emoji. Which should be a frowny face, I think. Or I don't know what emoji.
I think the upside down smile, which is
gotcha. Okay.
Definitely in my top most used emoji. So appreciate you, Zab. Let's go down to the action and see whether who draws the good cards before the other one does. Looks like we are watching from the point of view of Case. Oh, we're pretty zoomed in here. Looking at this opening hand. 5 lands, Mammoth, and Lovestruck Beast. Are you keeping this?
I think so. You have all your colors, which I think is a key part. And you just have threats. I don't know. Like, this is a tough one. I don't think you're even really allowed to ever mulligan like a 2 threats, 5 lands kind of hand in a deck that has like 7 drops. So I think you're kind of locked in on this one, unfortunately. I'm likely not playing the Mammoth as a land, if that helps. gonna keep that one around for a bit.
Sounds like good advice to me. Case, gonna lead off with this princess token, and while the players are getting set up with their first couple of turns, Caroline, we have to talk about the sleeves going on here.
Oh yeah, we've got some really good sleeve options because Zabricus has my favorite sleeves. They're from Secret Lair, the Seb McKinnon one. Those are my main sleeves, so I'm gonna have to go with Team Seb McKinnon. Sorry.
Yeah, the half kitten. It's the half kitten.
I know, but yeah.
Oh, look at it, so fluffy and adorable.
This is kind of great.
Can we combine the two, like Seb McKitten?
Oh wow! I was gonna be like, yeah, we should make like a professional reel of our casting. Be like, oh yeah, so we have all these decks here. Oh no, actually, we're gonna talk about the sleeves. We're gonna do a meta breakdown of the sleeves. Let's talk about this. That's what like, my caster.
Our viewers know what they're in for.
Yeah,
right? They know what they're doing when they click the Asper channel every Friday and they see it's Nefet and Mighty Linguini. It's gonna be some nonsense. It's gonna be some Rogue Watch 2021.
Oh wow! Do you know how smart we were? They made so many rogues after we made that joke.
I know. I can't believe that we just kicked off rogues as a trend.
We really didn't lean into that enough to let people know how smart we were. Ooh, we have a little foretelled action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at this dragon, though.
Well, I have some news for you. Our Case has drawn another threat, which is great because we only had 2 to start with. So we might not be valuing out anything cool, but Case will definitely be playing a spell every turn and hoping that's good enough, which currently it is.
Let's see what Zabricus has going on. Fabled Passage, that is going to get cracked. And I have to say, it is like a sigh of relief to me that both players have their mana sorted, or at least, on the go. One of the biggest problems with Team Deck is that you can run into a lot of these mana issues.
Yeah. That was an interesting sign of... I don't know. I'm not sure what that's a sign of, but Zabricus did put Obosh into their hand instead of playing a deck that has many 3-drops. If you don't have a 3-drop in your hand, I'm not sure what's happening because the deck is literally mono 3-drops. So
I wonder if it's just all Great Henges.
Yeah.
On this side.
Well,
this is a huge attack in from Case. That Kazandu Mammoth being double pumped by the Fabled Passage and Goldspan Dragon as well. Zabricus already down to 5.
Zabricus down to 5, and Case drew another threat, and by threat I mean Brazen Borrower, in the sense that it can bounce any sort of blocker that Zabricus was able to play on a 5-mana turn. So Zabricus ended up scooping it up, but I think it was locked up for Case anyway.
Right, because that petty theft would have been able to deal with
bounce
something.
Obosh, whatever it was. Even with 1 blocker anyway, it was already lethal, so that's probably why Zabricus called it a day. I have to imagine there's like pretty specific sideboarding plans for the mirror. My guess would involve some sort of removal. Like you've got a lot of different removal in your sideboard, and then I have to hope that the Vivian would be coming in, like another big threat that's hard to deal with. I'm not sure. That's just my inclination. I like to keep like a mirror revolves around a lot of bigger cards, and I kind of want my Vivian to be the biggest thing happening. Doesn't look like there was actually a ton of sideboarding, but
yeah, I think just a little bit of editing, as it were, with some of the counter spells, maybe some of the reactive spells. But Case at least deciding to keep the main engine of the deck intact, keeping those 4 Aaron's Epiphanies and the 2 Great Henge as well.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of agree with you, Caroline. I would like to see the Vivian, but maybe it's a play draw thing. Maybe Case thinks that on the draw it's harder to get Vivian down.
Yeah, that's super reasonable as well. I assume the counter spells came in, right? I missed a little bit of the sideboarding, so
I believe so. I believe maybe some number of mystical disputes made it in, but we will find out in game number 2. Case just has to win one more to go through to next week's round of 16, whereas Zabricus has to do the reverse sweep if she wants to make it through. And as a reminder, everybody in the top 16, who, as in everyone who makes it through this week and everyone who had the buy, they are in the money. So that $3,500 prize pool that is getting, we're paying down to the top 16. So this is pretty an important match, not just for continuing on in the tournament, but also for that nice cash potential.
That's pretty nice. Hey, aren't you in the top 16?
You know, I wasn't going to mention it, but now that you brought it up.
Wow. Smart me. This hand is an interesting hand. It only has 2 of the 3 colors. It has 2 lands, which is not a lot, but it has some pretty good cards. Big fan of the Goldspan Dragons. So I'm not going to lie, I was probably keeping that hand, though I probably shouldn't have. I'm also keeping this hand, so... But
I kind of understand where you're coming from, Caroline, because just one land, like one green land, would have made that first hand, you know, just so insane. But I do.
Even the green can come a little later. You didn't have like a ton of adventure stuff going on. Like you just needed to be able to keep your counter spell up for a little bit. That's all I needed from it. This is a good 5. It does the things it's supposed to do. The mana is gonna be a little awkward because we just have these 2 Fabled we just have at least 2 turns of tap lands.
Here's the Ketria Triumph,
which is actually a huge draw.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, if you're, I've played this team deck a little bit, and the first Ketria Triumph honestly feels so good. It feels like the first Into the Story from Rogues. You just feel so secure. You're like, yes, I've got the Ketria Triumph. Everything is fine.
What about when you're playing a deck that plays like it's a Jeskai deck, but also just has a Ketria Triumph in it?
Oh no! What about the one-off Ketria Triumph and Sultai Ultimatum?
Yeah, what does it feel like when you draw that card?
Yeah, that's a different issue. Zabricus getting down with the aggro start, Stomp to face, and getting Bone Crusher Giant down on turn number 3. And this is definitely one way of approaching the mirror, Caroline.
I love playing the Bone Crusher Giant naked. It's real tough to do emotionally because you're just like, what's the value? Like
value.
But I haven't stomped them in the face yet. But I think it shows a real understanding of how these games can get kind of askew. And so I think it's heads up for both players to want to play one on that turn. So
let's see. This is turn number 5, so there is potentially some dragon action maybe stored up for Zabricus, and there it is.
Well, good thing we saw it coming.
It is a good thing.
Yeah, I think looking at Case's hand, like there's just too little going on to deal with that dragon, so I think it's time to send that one away.
And Case does still have another mystical dispute. You know, you can't counter dragon for 1, but can still clunkily deal with some threats that come out of Zabricus' deck.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So I wonder whether that card in the Foretell zone for Zabricus is an Epiphany.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. My guess would be the proactive nature of playing the dragon potentially implies that it's an Epiphany and not a Sock coming. but I'm not 100% sure. The Sod Coming also would have protected the dragon against removal, but not against counter spells. So it could still
have been. What about this?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Case with the Obosh in hand left only 2 mana up instead of 3 for this Mystical Dispute. We could bounce it though.
Could bounce it. That might be what we're going to see.
It's a lot of mana for Zabricus to have to redeploy. I'm not opposed to it. Let's see what Case is thinking.
Looks. Just going to see whether there's an attack coming in from the Bone Crusher Giant. The answer is no for now. And yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Send it back.
And bye-bye. Gain 2 life. Oh.
Because you saw that tapping so carefully with that, not letting auto tapper mess up the Mystical Dispute there. Did manage to leave it up, but Case finds the second Brazen Borrower.
Yeah, so the interesting thing for Case here is, again, we're like kind of a mana short for what we'd want to do. Like we would want to play Obosh and the Petty Theft, but we don't have enough mana to do that, I don't believe. So looks like instead we're just going to kind of take our lumps and deal with that, the Great Hinge. And now, more importantly, we do have the 3 mana for Mystical Dispute to kind of get it potentially on the way back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we also have the mana to counter this. I don't know if we have to, though. We'll see.
Kind of interesting decision as to whether to make the move to counter the Aaron Swiftney. Like you say, sometimes when there's not a lot on the battlefield, you do see a lot of players letting them go.
Yeah. I would have thought about it a little bit more because I actually couldn't tell, but obviously Case had a plan. I think this plan is attacking for 6 on this turn, which I think is a pretty good plan.
It's a pretty good plan.
Actually, I guess you send the giant too? Potentially send the giant if you wanted to. Maybe you're hoping the giant can eventually actually attack. So there's the Great Hinge.
No,
so no creature here. Okay. Oh, nice. We were on the same page there.
Yeah. Just Obosh put in hand. So next time we are going to see Zabricus get the Obosh
now I
down.
think we're safe to attack all, right? The 4/3 can't block the Obosh. Right?
This Brazen, it can't, but Case deciding to leave the Obosh back at home. Zabricus down to 12, and this is a very quick clock if Zabricus cannot find blocker in the air.
Yeah, I will say the Obosh being like the creature that we get to play is pretty cool because it costs, like, we have a lot of mana, or Zabricus has a lot of mana, and then if that hits another creature, we're kind of, Zabricus is just pulling ahead. But you were right.
Look at this.
The air is still unprotected. I don't know what the right word is, but it's 2-turn clock with this Brazen Borrower. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah. The Great Hinge messes that up. It's not 2 turns. I lied.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, it's still getting in for 6 a turn, so pretty scary stuff. Because Andy Mammoth comes down for Case as well. What's really interesting is that both of the players having Obosh means that these counters that are being put on by Great Henge aren't as advantageous as they would normally be in the mirror.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh,
wow.
Ox of Agonas in the mirror, Caroline.
I like it. I like my cards to draw cards. Okay, don't quote
this
me.
Is some
it's just a
nice
one-time
mirror
thing.
tech. I love it.
So,
I'm definitely going to quote you.
Yeah, I know. No one's going to or everyone's going to hold that against me now from now on. So this mammoth is big. We got to get rid of something.
Would you describe it as thick?
Yeah, I would. I would indeed. With some C's as well. Oh, there's the fire blocker.
Goldspan Dragon coming down as a blocker. Did Zabricus have...
Yeah, I was doing some math. It wasn't lethal, but it would have required the Obosh to chump.
Right.
And it wouldn't have been a chump. It would have been a trade with the other Obosh, so that is actually kind of bad. Okay, so that makes sense.
Still, Goldspan Dragon as a 5/5 case does not find an answer to it, just an Edgewell Innkeeper. Would have been much better earlier on in the game. And we're going to see a decider now between and Case for that top 16 spot.
Yeah, let's see if Case wants to readjust. That Ox of Vagonis definitely sends quite a different signal than I think I have seen decks sideboarded before. So I'm curious if Case takes in a different approach or says, you know what, I still want to do my on the play game plan as well. Like this, keeping the deck as lean as possible on the play is potentially the plan.
See Case thinking about Clothis, God of Destiny.
That's one way to deal with that Ox of Vagonis.
Yeah, you're gonna bring in an Ox. I'm gonna bring in a Clothis. Let's go.
Yeah, I wonder if this mirror is just not as like in the old versions of Temur and even in the Gruels, like Vivian was just a wall. As soon as you got Vivian going, it was a bit of a wall. But maybe here with cards like Epiphany and the dragon and stuff, it's a lot harder to gain that advantage with Vivian, which might be why it stays away for now.
I think you might be right, Caroline. The hasty dragon is just usually so good at taking out Vivian, and you can't really count on those tokens staying around with Brazen Borrow in the mix as well.
This is like a Haiyue hand. Like I feel like you're just like, yeah, I'll take that one.
Haiyue hand?
Yeah.
Wow.
It had a counterspell and all the lands you could ever need. It feels like a Haiyue hand.
Honestly, I would have seriously considered.
I know,
but not because it's just a counterspell and some lands, but because two of those lands are triomes, right? So you were going to potentially be able to cycle those away and get extra cards, but I'll take it.
You just wanted that feeling of that first triome. I know you.
It's true. Haiyues only want one thing.
So
and it's one triome.
This is an interesting turn. This comes up like a decent amount when you have two Edgewell Innkeepers. I really like this. Like just play both. So then if you draw your third land, you are getting a card no matter what. Because they can't kill both. Well, hopefully they can't kill both. It would be kind of great if they could, though. Okay, so at least this way we still get value no matter what. So I like this.
Yeah, get in. 1-on-1, 1-on-2, and if they don't have an answer to it, you're just so far
exactly. Ahead. Like if they don't have an answer, you get to draw two cards.
And this is setting up very nicely for a Great Henge in a couple of turns' time as well for Case. Let's see what Zabricus has to answer the board presence that's going on over here.
So one thing we saw in game 1 from Zabricus is that they weren't able to really deploy anything on turn 3 or turn 4, and that really mattered. Whereas here, having that Mammoth does kind of, stop the bleeding a little bit. And we'll notice in game 2 that neither players really were able to attack each other for a long time, and that changed the shape of the game. So having something on turn 3 was pretty big for Zabricus. So we'll see. So they are still pretty big damage, which is.
Yeah, opting not to make the trade there. I wonder if we're going to see some Great Henge action on both sides of the battlefield before long.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I guess exactly if you don't have Great Henge, or if you have Great Henge in your hand, you don't want to offer that trade. Totally reasonable.
This Mammoth is going to get growing once again.
Do we have 5 mana in play? Or sorry, does Case have 5 mana in play or 4?
It's 4 right now, I believe. And there is the Great Henge down for Zabricus. It's weird to talk about a tempo play when you're talking about resolving a 9-mana spell, but it does feel like Zabricus is ahead on tempo because she managed to get the Great Henge down first thanks to that giant mammoth.
Yeah, Case got 2 cards out of Edgewell Innkeeper, so yes, this is still getting out of hand as I'm speaking, but in general, Case wasn't that far behind up until this Bone Crusher Giant came down. It's a 7/7 Mammoth that I was a bit worried about. I don't know what our plan is. So if Case draws a blue land
for now.
Okay.
Oh no, that is not a blue land. It is a Goldspan Dragon that Case cannot cast right now. It's just gonna have to foretell this Auron's Epiphany and can't even leave up the Petty Theft.
Yeah, I think Case is in a decent amount of trouble. Case has some blocks, and we know that there aren't like Embercleave's Surprise hiding out anywhere. So the blocks are fairly face up except for Brazen Borrower. But not hitting that 5th land is pretty brutal just because we like Case had the Great Henge as well. And the dragon, and would have been able to potentially match the value.
So this is an attack in 4/10 from these 3 mana value creatures.
Oh, I think
just trying it out. I'm just trying out the mana value thing a little bit more.
I like it.
Is there gonna be a follow-up here?
Stamp? No stamp.
Wow.
Oh wow. No 1/1 cast.
That's very interesting.
That came from the hand, right? I'm not crazy?
You're not crazy.
Well,
at
I
least
am, but that's
not in respect to this.
Oh, interesting. So that feels like Zabricus is seeing something coming. Like that.
She has the binoculars out and she's focusing in on this dragon that's swooping in from afar.
So it's really interesting. Once the Great Henge in play, there is only exactly one way to make 1/1s. Oh, actually, I lied. There's 2 ways. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Wow, Zabricus saw it coming. Who knew? Anyway, there's only the Lovestruck Beast and the Aldrin's Epiphany to make 1/1s. So not making a 1/1 there is a huge decision. And clearly based on cards that is in Zabricus' hand that we can't see. Here they are. Here's the reason. So
Aldrin's Epiphany making the 1/1s, enabling Lovestruck Beast to get in. And Case, with just a lonely Bone Crusher Giant on the side of the battlefield, extends the GGs. There's going to be another turn for Zabricus to get in as well. And Zabricus is going to do it, Caroline, after losing the first game, coming back to take this one down.
Your favorite term, the reverse sweep.
Reverse sweep. It is my favorite term. Well, it's one of my favorite terms.
Well,
I have a plethora of favorite terms.
Relax. Did you just have to use the word plethora? Do you have like a notepad where you're like, oh, words that Caroline hates that I use? Okay, check mark.
I just have a small reminder, like Siri just tells me, hi, you haven't used the word plethora on stream with Caroline for at least 30 minutes. It's time.
Is it like one of those like daily reports from like a Amazon Alexa? Like, good morning, Haiyue, you used the word plethora 5 times this week. Please try better. Try harder.
Something like that. Well, I mean, well played by both players there. A little bit unfortunate for Case in that final game not to find the 5th land on time. But congratulations to Zabricus, who makes it through to the top 16. She's going to continue her run, and we will see how far she can go in this bracket, Caroline.
Yeah.
Should we go to our second feature match of the evening?
Oh, yeah, okay.
We have Samantha Murphy on one side of the battlefield from Quandrix College, and Samantha has brought a really cool deck that came out of the Mythic Championships, the most recent Strixhaven Championships, and that is Stonebinder Naya. It's Naya Adventures, but not quite the same as before, Caroline.
Yeah, I'm just zooming in on the deck list. And boy, what does this card do? What does Stonebinder's Familiar do?
Stonebinder's Familiar is a 1-mana 1/1, and it says whenever a card is put into exile on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. So every time you cast the adventure side of an adventure spell, or when you play Showdown of the Skalds.
What about Robber?
You just start, yeah, you're right. Rob of the Rich exiles cards from your opponent's graveyards, and all of those things will trigger this 1/1, and it will just become giant.
Wow. I've been playing Naya for many weeks, and they were conscious decisions every night at Sunday at 11 p.m. It had nothing to do with the fact that I kept forgetting to change my deck. And this is really appealing to me. Like, I'm like, where was this all my Naya life? What the heck?
I know, this really came out. There were just one of the European teams found this build for the Strixhaven Championships, and I just love it. It just makes so much sense to me to have a Naya deck that doesn't take 6 turns to set up for their big attack, you know?
Excuse me. I'm being attacked for my beautiful Naya deck.
Well, not yet. Only in 6 turns, Caroline.
Well, no, I get attacked quite early with my Naya deck. It's whether or not I can defend the attack is really the question.
And so yeah, because this deck goes bigger, it goes taller, it can play Embercleave because it's going to pump out a bunch of creatures, but also it's going to have actual big threats that can hold an Embercleave.
Relax. My poor Caroline, come past the playoffs with me. Sure. Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, I'm going to make fun of your deck choices.
Oh my goodness, Caroline, I had no idea that you were even on Naya. But, maybe I should just lean in. I deliberately did this. Just so I can make fun of you.
Yeah, I actually do think this is pretty cool, as much as I'm being all defensive. I really hope that one of the games we watch, by the way, like the Sentinel wears the Embercleave just so I can laugh at you somehow.
That would be very funny. That would, I hope for your sake, I hope that happens. Yeah. Let's have a look over at the other corner. We have Sky B. Sween, and we've had Sky, and Sky has brought blue-red dragons. Spoiler alert, for those of you who are following along, there are going to be a lot of dragons on the stream tonight.
Yeah, the time walk might be banned in Historic, but Aldrin's Epiphany is here to stay for now. In Standard.
For now. Yeah.
And it's going to be on our stream a lot.
This is a pretty classic build of blue-red dragons. Is that right, Carolyn?
Yeah, just taking a peek. I will say, I guess one of the flex slots is probably some of the counter spells in the main. Those can definitely be switched around depending what you think you're going to be up against. So I think this version has the 1 Disdainful Stroke, 1 Negate, and 2 Mystical Disputes in the main, with some Sock Comings as well. So pretty counter heavy, I think, compared to if you knew you were playing a creature deck, you'd probably have potentially more removal in the main instead of counters. But luckily, that's what sideboarding is for. Oh,
yeah.
That's 3 Cinderclasms?
That is 3 Cinderclasms in the sideboard. Sky came prepared. And you see that in their questions that we asked them, they did say they expected their opponent to play either Sultai Ultimatum or Naya Adventure. So that maybe explains the 3 copies of Cinderclasm in the side.
Yeah, and that also explains why they couldn't they couldn't really put removal in the main deck if they're wrong and they play against Sultai Ultimatum, because it gets real awkward if you're like, haha, my fire prophecy against your
Pelucranos.
Your Pelucranos. Yeah. Ruh-roh. Can I ask you for a test? Can I give you a test?
Okay, go ahead.
Can you tell me what Test of Talons does?
Okay, Test of Talons.
Yeah.
Test of Talons says counter target instant or sorcery, and you look at your opponent's hand, library, and graveyard, and you can exile any number of copies of that instant or sorcery from those zones. But if you get one from their hand, they get to draw a card. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it. You passed the test. Yeah.
I passed the test.
Yeah.
The test of talent.
Am
I talented now?
You are. Well, you're already talented. So.
Oh.
See, I like to compliment my co-hosts.
Let's go down to the action before this gets too out of hand.
Oh,
looks like you. We have Samantha on the bottom half of your screen. We are going to be watching things from her point of view. This opening hand, Stonebinder's Familiar, Clarion Spirit, double Innkeeper, Lovestruck Beast. Oh, is this the start we were looking for?
I'm in, but one thing I wanted to consider. Oh yeah, okay, perfect. I was going to say we want to not play that red land as a red land. We probably want to play it as a forest, which is what happened.
How about 3 edge roll Innkeepers?
Yeah. How about we need one more land and we can just go off? Clarion Spirit, by the way, is a heck of a Magic card. I've had a ton of fun with that card.
Oh, looks like Frostbite is going to stop that.
Oh no, your Doge.
Before it gets too many counters on it. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. But what we don't see here is the 3rd land, which is a little brutal. It's pretty big of the deck to be able to do like a 2-drop and a 1-drop on turn 3. But if this Spirit survives, which is going to.
Ooh.
We got lots of 1-drops in our hand. So
Expressive iteration, gonna go digging for Sky. We do see Snow-Covered Mountain being the card that's
Frostbite?
exiled. Oh no, is this a second Frostbite out of Sky's deck? And things not looking great here for Samantha in the early turns, but does find another Lovestruck Beast. So
Combo?
here comes the dog once again.
Combo.
Don't call it a combo.
What? That's definitely a combo.
It's definitely a combo. It's definitely a combo. Oh, Galazeth Prismari, one of the new dragons from Strixhaven, coming down on the side of the battlefield for Sky, making a treasure.
So Samantha Murphy's hand kind of didn't really grow. It had all the starting elements, but without that third land, we are a little stuck.
Oh my
and
goodness.
then Sky got to do the thing where they go turn 4 Mythic Dragon, turn 5 Mythic Dragon. Actually, I think, is Goldspan Dragon a Mythic? I don't even know. It must be, right?
You would think.
But it does say Goldspan. Oh no, it's Mythic. I checked. So yeah, lots of Mythic Dragons happening over here.
Okay, here is that third land for Samantha. So we might get to see a little bit more action happening now, although the Stonecrusher Giant isn't really killing anything on the other side of the battlefield.
No, but it is doing face damage, which I hear is pretty good. And I know you like making this dog bigger, so...
I love making this dog big. I want to see how big the dog can get.
Let's see. The thing I'm a little concerned about is how much damage the dragons are going to do to Samantha before they can kind of take over the game with their little 1/1s.
Right, this is 7 in the air already.
Yeah, like another.
There is a Faceless Haven on the battlefield as well for Sky.
So that's actually a lot of damage.
That is 11 potentially coming through if Sky wants to fire up that Faceless Haven.
Yeah. And we don't know. There might be like another dragon. Hey.
Oh, jeez. So it is going to be 11 coming through, but none of it is going to be blockable for Samantha right now.
Oh, Bone Crusher in hand is just lethal then, right? I was going to say, like, is there some consideration for can Samantha get to 11 damage?
Right.
And I don't really know. Like, I don't think that they exile a lot of cards quickly.
There's only Showdown of the Skulls, I believe.
Right. Oh, also, they got...
But she doesn't have the lands for that.
Exactly.
Even if she drew it.
Exactly.
So this one looking a little bit over, although, as we know very well here on the VML, Robber of the Rich does have Secret Reach.
It does have Secret Reach, but it doesn't have, like, Team Block. So it can't really take on all the dragons. It's a new keyword coming in the D&D set.
Oh, yeah, Team Block.
Yep.
Well, one little 2/2 just jumps in front of everybody.
It's specifically only on a 2/2, and it's on no other cards. And it's only if you draw it after turn 7.
I see. Great. Perfect. Just what I want on a 2/2.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine?
So, sideboarding for Samantha, we saw some Shredded Sails coming in. It's a nice sideboard card for this matchup, and I think she maybe, could sense that there was going to be dragons coming if you're submitting cards like Shredded Sails.
Yeah, Shredded Sails does not make it in your deck by accident. That's for sure. That's a pretty conscious one. You're like, Yeah, I wonder.
Hey, maybe the last time Samantha played this deck, it was at an Ikoria draft event. She still had a couple of copies just hanging out in the deck box.
Maybe not though. Okay, so it looks like Sky is probably doing a little sideboarding. Here we go.
So game number 2. Let's see whether this Naya deck can show us what it's made of this time. Samantha will be on the play. This hand is, again, looking really sweet, but does only have that those 2 lands.
Yeah, this is... Well, hold on. We do have the Sentinel. So all is not lost yet. That Sentinel does work, you know.
I love Jazzera Sentinel. I'm completely with you. And a tap land on turn number 1 from Sky means that Samantha gets to untap with that Sentinel.
So unfortunately, it's like slightly awkward though, because our white 1-drop is where we really want to be playing first, so then we can get the value off the Lovestruck.
Right.
Piece.
But still, though, yeah, an impressive a number of creatures down already on turn number 2 for Samantha. Has a showdown of the skulls as well to refill.
Draw a land. Boom.
I'm really hoping for a really big showdown of the skulls.
Well, if the Sentinel lives. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a Foretell. So is there going to be an untapped land here for Samantha? It's a Clarion Spirit.
Oh, and you know what's awkward is we can sort of double spell, but we can't. Samantha can't do 2 white double spells, so the Clarion Spirit wouldn't really work, unfortunately.
I see. But still, a 3-mana 5/5, nothing to scoff at.
Exactly.
Especially when your opponent only just has the 2 lands going on the battlefield.
Okay. Oh no!
Oh my goodness! Kick Cinderclasm. That is going to wipe the board of those small creatures, but Samantha finds the 3rd land and does have a Clarion Spirit.
Sorry, I was just chuckling at the red cap melee options that were available to us. They were
not good options.
They were available to us, and I was thinking about it. Okay. It wouldn't have gone very well, but ooh, that is a heck of a draw.
So, Edgeroll Innkeeper could potentially be followed up here by this Giant Killer for Samantha.
Right, like this, Samantha gets to play the Edgeroll Innkeeper and immediately play the Giant Killer, potentially, which would give another 1/1. So even if the Edgeroll Innkeeper gets removed by Sky before combat, the Lovestruck Beast is basically guaranteed to attack unless Sky has 2 removal spells. But I doubt this Clarion Spirit is alive if there's 2 removal spells hanging out. And a card.
Yeah, Sky is hovering over that card in their Foretell zone. So it could be maybe...
They might have saw it coming.
They might have seen it coming, but decides to hold on for now. And we are going to see that play that you talked about, Caroline, Giant Killer, enabling a bunch of things to happen on the battlefield and getting an extra card as well.
2 attacks. Let's go.
Petty Theft on the Lovestruck Beast.
Okay. I would maybe guess that there's another sweeper coming our way, but I'm not quite sure.
Fabled Passage. Gonna get cracked. We might see a Goldspan Dragon come down.
We do have ways to deal with that problem.
I love Red Cat Melee. I just love that whole cycle of cards.
Saw it coming.
Unfortunately, though, yeah, that treasure being able to tap for 2, Sky protecting the dragon with the counterspell coming in, and now it's going to be a race between this bundle of small creatures on one side and that big Goldspan Dragon.
Wait, oh, hold on. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is basically Samantha saying, yo, dragon, you got to go.
And it does go. No second counter spell from Sky. Goldspan Dragon hits the bin.
Interesting. I wondered if Sky considered playing the Brazen Borrower before the dragon left, because the treasures would have tapped for 2, 2 each, so you could play the Brazen Borrower. But I wonder if Sky just has plans to use the treasure somewhere else, which is also reasonable. Like, say, with the second Goldspan Dragon. Makes sense.
They always have it, Caroline. And it's never the first dragon that kills you. It's always the second one.
Okay, hold on. This Naya deck can chump some Goldspan dragons for days.
How about if there's an extra turn?
Okay, one extra turn, maybe. I'm not sure we can survive 2, though.
There's iteration. That's going to go looking for any number of things. The second dragon here, not quite lethal, but maybe another turn or something to close the door on this game number 2 for Sky.
Is that your favorite kind of lethal? Not quite lethal?
No, my favorite kind of lethal is Zigzaxies.
Yes, I did know that, actually.
Yeah, we've comprehensively made the ranking list of the lethals before. Jaspera Sentinel for Samantha, not necessarily what she was looking for, but that can produce a couple more blockers.
So what I want to do this turn is likely, I want to play this Edgewell Innkeeper, and I want to draw my 2 cards and make my 1/1 friendo. There we go. And then if we draw a forest, we get to play the Secret Reach Sentinel as well. Not quite a forest. That's a forest.
That's a forest.
But we also have, hold on. Maybe we don't have to play the jumper. We can just play the white side of the pathway and then have a tap the Giant Killer. That's probably safer than my plan. My plan involved jumping, so.
Yeah, Giant Killer is quite a nice one when with Goldspan Dragon, it doesn't trigger that treasure making ability.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna play our little reach friend. Maybe first attack.
Yeah, don't think we can get in with these 1/1s necessarily.
What? Coward. Oh, you mean the flyers. Okay.
I mean the flyers.
I was like,
Edgewell Innkeeper, get in there.
I was like, yo,
sure.
they're not doing anything, staying back. But yes, you meant the flyers. Okay, that makes way more sense. I am really sad that we have not seen a dog get huge with the showdown.
Well, maybe if Samantha makes it to game number 3, we might be in for a treat. Brazen Borrower does come in the end step. Let's see whether Sky has any interaction to get some of these blockers out of the way.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. There's like a couple different lines that Sky has access to depending on what's in their hand. We kind of just need to see what's going on.
Caroline, where does Chat Lethal rank on your ranking of lethals?
Oh, Chat Lethal is probably at the top of...
At the top?
Yeah, but the top is bad.
Oh, okay.
It's like golf.
Wow, that was... What a debate.
Yeah, I know.
You got me there. I was incredibly shocked and confused.
It was great. It did really everything I wanted it to do. Okay.
So, Epiphany wins the game on the spot, but it comes back over to Samantha, who has a showdown of the skulls in hand.
So, I don't think we can afford to play it. Well, it depends. So, what Samantha can do is play one of the lands. So, you would not be getting value off the showdown. And then you would have 2 spells. You'd have the showdown plus the Lovestruck Beast for sure. So that's like a little awkward. The other issue is you kind of want to have the tap ability from Giant Killer now because you're definitely getting into scarier world. But if you use up the tap ability, you can't make 2 spells this turn, and spells do feel like the way you're going to win this game. I'm not sure. It's actually pretty tight on what there's many different options. When your deck costs very little to cast, you are often in spots that have a lot of choices. One thing that we could consider doing, that's kind of crazy, is like just casting the Lovestruck Beast and drawing a card. Drawing 2 cards, actually. And then that would leave a tap ability up for Giant Killer, or potentially draw into something cool. That could potentially let us get that free Clarion Spirit.
I mean, one thing to note here is that Sky's life total is also down at 4,
Yeah.
and they are facing up against a lot of small creatures. We're going to see the double tap here from the giant killers.
Right, and the giant killers can tap on offensive as well. So Sky actually has to do a lot of work to somehow come out on the other side of this turn.
Right, and the way that the turn passed over in the previous turn, it does, from this side of the battlefield, look a little bit like there's not a lot of action for Sky other than this Bone Crusher Giant.
Right, this actually does stop lethal though, because now there's 2 blockers, so Samantha would need to tap 2 things to attack in, and they only have 3 power left. So this did keep Sky alive, which is what they were probably intending on doing. But let's draw some cards, please.
I'm always on the side of drawing cards. So for once, Caroline, you and I are in harmony.
I know. We've been in harmony before. We both like sloths. Do you like sloths?
That's true. Yeah,
you like sloths, right? Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I was picturing you like...
That got very existential.
Well, I was just worried because you didn't agree with me at first.
Well, of course I like sloths, Caroline. But I like drawing cards more than I like sloths, I have to admit.
Yeah, don't worry. I would never make you choose. Oh, could you imagine a card that's like either put a sloth into play or draw a card?
Oh, goodness.
Ooh, giant killer. I like it. Oh, hold on. Okay. I saw the... So there's actually a couple different options.
Wait. Does this work?
I think this is lethal. Yeah.
Oh, of course. That just is straight up lethal. I was really worried for a second. I was like, no,
that was
Samantha,
a good find. Yeah, it was a good find.
That is Exacxies, the best kind of lethal for Samantha Murphy. And
your favorite.
We have got a decider coming up. It is my favorite. I'm just pretty chuffed.
Man, I was in the middle of designing a really cool magic card that either makes a sloth or draws a card, and then it could be just for you and me. And so whenever I play it, I make a sloth. Whenever you play it, you draw a card.
I love that.
It could be like
Can someone call up Marrow?
Yeah. Wait, are we sponsored? Can't we do it?
Is that what being sponsored means?
I think so. We can book a meeting and just say it's a strategy meeting, and then we'll pitch our idea. Haiyue.
Okay. It'll be a split card.
Yeah.
It could be an adventure card. So the adventure side will be like draw some cards.
No, it has to be a split card because we have to be equal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Or it could be double face.
Oh, white mana.
Oh, that was a good draw.
Samantha off the top.
Yeah. That was a good one. This hand was actually a little slow, but it's pretty hard to turn down a hand that has 2 showdowns of the Skeld in it. Like, it's a pretty key part of your deck. So.
Ooh, Petty Theft is going to get rid of the 1/1.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to counter on the top. It does say whenever a card is put into exile on your turn, it doesn't matter whether you're the one doing it or whether your opponent does it.
Yeah. Thanks for the counter. It's okay. I didn't know it was going to happen either, but it was exciting to see it happen. The dog looks so proud of themselves. Just chilling. The little statue.
Yeah, it's just like, look at me.
It's a spirit? I didn't realize.
It is a spirit.
Okay.
Okay, second dog.
I think I'd prefer to play a 5/5. Would be my choice. I know.
This is still good though, because the 5/5 comes down. The next turn, that Stonebinder's Familiar is going to be a 1/1.
Yeah. Well, this current Doge is about to be huge, right? It's going to be a 6/6. That's how that works, right?
Oh, let's see. Let's see.
I assume that's how that works. So I think Samantha was probably deciding, because the 5/5 can't attack this turn. So I think there was just some considerations. Oh, it's only, it's just one counter. Okay.
Oh, it's whenever
I thought it was per card, and I was like, wow, that could
I also thought it was per card, but still, it's.
This is scary when the turns player does this. By the way, it's really terrifying because like it could just be game over. They could just have like 2 more copies in their hand and that's it. So it's scary. Scary.
There is.
Okay, this Doge is looking a little less impressive, I'm just saying. You're just one counter at a time? I thought I was gonna get like 4 counters there. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, but it's 1 mana. I mean, it's no Flourishing Fox.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold on. I know a 1 mana 1/1.
I know a dog. I know a dog.
It's a fox.
Okay, I know. Yeah, I know fox is kind of like a dog. It's a dog with cat software.
Okay, what?
You know, a fox is dog hardware with cat software installed.
Oh my goodness. We are offering some hot takes tonight, everybody.
Like, it's a Friday evening, it's the VML, it's the playoff week. It's Haiyue and Carolyn dream team back together. I'm a little bit excited. You can't blame me. I'm gonna have the animal-based hot takes.
Cat software. Holy moly. Okay. How long have you been holding that one?
Honestly, it's because I just love watching videos of foxes and they're just all like snuggly and they do cat things.
In the last 24 hours, I have been sent the live otter stream by multiple people in different avenues of my life. Everybody is digging this like stream on Twitch that shows live otters, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Otter streams are great.
It's from the Vancouver Aquarium, which is one of the reasons that I
wait, is it?
Yeah, the one that I've seen is from Vancouver Aquarium.
I have seen streams of otters, but I did not think they were from Vancouver Aquarium. That's cool though. I love Vancouver Aquarium. Okay, all right, you got me.
Okay, so the Sky's turn. There's many options, and one of them is just go like Epiphany win the game. So the fact that Samantha Murphy gets a turn is impressive. That's good. Let's go from there and see. Is this?
Well, this Clarion Spirit is going to be able to start making 1/1s, right? Because there is that red cat melee. You can see Samantha; she cannot wait to get that red cat melee on the stack.
I like it. Well,
kill the dragon.
It's also going to make the 1/1 for this beast, for this Lovestruck beast.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge Lovestruck beast with all those counters from Showdown of the Skulls put on it.
Okie dokie. Gonna attack him with a little 8 damage here. No big deal. Okay, so I was panicking earlier because the camera blocks the green source from Samantha, and I thought that somehow the Clarion Spirit was tapping it, and I was like, "What? Right. No!" But that's not happened. So, look at this Sentinel holding down these 1/1s.
Oh,
like
I love it.
A boss.
Just casually. Sentinel is honestly one of the most sus cards out there because not only does it have Secret Reach, it also has the rogue creature type, which if you're playing, it's an elf rogue.
Oh
so
my god,
it's a rogue.
Rogues,
you can't crippling fear it. It's really, really
I had no idea.
Sneaky. All right, there's the Goldspan Dragon from Sky. And this is getting to an interesting race situation because Samantha is going to go down to 8 if she doesn't block. Does have the potential for a chump. But she's thinking, can I get lethal on the crackback?
Yeah, Samantha, I mean, a couple different options. I will say removal-wise, we don't have anything to deal with these 1/1s from Sky, so Sky will likely get to chump with them. But we do have potential of spreading out some counters from the 3rd chapter of the Showdown. So we can definitely spread some damage out. Whether or not we can spread it enough to be 8. So what do we need? So let's just live in a world where Sky has nothing. Okay. So Lovestruck Beast and the Spirit, in theory, are taken care of. They're both chumped. So we need the Giant Killer and the Sentinel to both get to 4 power somehow. That seems fairly difficult. I think I would lead with I would potentially consider leaving with Showdown here because I think it's very difficult to get all the way to 4 power for each of those creatures. That would sort of be my thought process.
Yeah, you would be looking
Oh,
at
hold on. There's a
7
little bit more
spells.
damage here. I didn't really think about this at first, but you could tap one of the birds with the giant killer, so you're like effectively taking away a chump.
Right.
So that's like one way to do it.
Oh, there's also extra mana here from the Jaspera Sentinel.
Yeah. But it's like extra mana minus damage, so it's kind of...
Okay. So Samantha really trying to figure this out here. The giant killer, we assume, is going to... The one in hand, I mean, be aimed at that Godspan Dragon at some point.
Yeah, I imagine that's the end of the line on Samantha's process, and it kind of makes sense to do that one last. Because if Sky wants to make decisions here, like this. Oh yeah, this what I can't quite tell what the Bone Crusher's targeting, but I imagine
it's the giant killer.
Yeah, I imagine an extra counter here is going to be pretty helpful.
Wow. Giant killer.
I might have more.
Kill your Goldspan Dragon, put a counter on my giant killer, and make this.
So now we get to
Bone Crusher. Oh my goodness, there was so many triggers there.
Yeah. Attack in here, double chumps, and then Sky falls down to 5. And I was thinking, like, does the sweeper, like, does the Cinderclasm even really help? It like gets rid of a decent amount of the board. Does also get rid of the 1/1, which could be huge. Oh no, but it doesn't get rid of the spirit.
It doesn't get rid of Clarion Spirit.
Right, so 1/1
Samantha
can spit out.
Yeah, Samantha very, putting that counter on the Clarion Spirit, clearly very aware of the possibility of that Cinderclasm happening, and of, cards like Stomp and the such. Sky really going digging now, down to 2 life, had that dragon removed. The last turn was such an explosive turn for Samantha Murphy, and that is the power of this Naya deck, Carolyn.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just want to clarify for all of our viewers that not all rogues have reach. And if you're getting some misinformation from some of our people in the Twitch chat, just, you heard it here. Not all rogues.
Do all reach have rogues?
What?
Like, are all...
All right, Caroline, you've done it. You've finally broken me.
all creatures that have reach, are they a rogue?
Oh, Sky going out in style, stomping their own face. And what a victory for Samantha Murphy, the reverse sweep yet again. And Naya Stonebinder's Familiar taking down the big threat of Blue-Red Dragons. Caroline, was that what you expected to happen?
Yeah. The little Nayas were underestimated. They were like, oh, you think we're 1/1s? Nah, we big. We thick. Turn 6. That's what you were making fun of, Haiyue, but guess what? They did their thing.
You got me. I have to give it up to the Naya deck. Built up that huge board presence, and it probably was actually exactly turn number 6. Managed to deal with all of the threats on the other side of the battlefield. Great job there for Samantha Murphy. Congratulations to her. She is going through to the top 16. And Caroline, before we get to our second half of the evening, look, we're just going to have a quick break, have a little regather, but when we come back, more magic.
Bye-bye.
Hello, my friends. Welcome back to coverage of the VML. My name's Haiyue, and I'm here with the mightiest of linguinis, Carolyn Kavanagh.
That's me.
That is you.
I really hope I never have to meet any other linguinis.
It would be really awkward.
Well, so one time I once told a 6-year-old that I was the fastest person in Canada, based on the idea that I would never have to prove it. And so the mightiest of linguinis feels like something I can say forever until I have to prove it. But if I ever came up against another linguini, I'm not confident I would remain the mightiest.
Well, we can do. I'll design a series of elaborate trials for the two of you.
Well, I hope one of them is making pasta. Like that seems required.
That has to be.
Can another one be Among Us? Like a game of Among Us? Because I'm great.
It can.
Okay, good.
But then I don't really know whether that proves mightiness so much as other skills.
Sussiest.
Slussiest, sliciest, murderiest, etc., etc.
Okay.
All right. So let's have a look at our third feature match of the evening. We have HG Rose, yay! And we were talking a little bit about this deck before we came on this evening. 4-color Titan's Nest. This is a bit of a departure from your average Sultai Titan's Nest. HG Rose has added the Magma Opus, added the Prismari command, and Skybills and I actually got to see this deck in action last week, Caroline, and let me tell you, you're in for a treat.
Yeah, I'm in for learning what it does. I'm excited. I'm ready.
I mean, imagine Titan's Nest, but you have Prismari command to put cards in your graveyard.
I think the issue is mostly I have not really seen Titan's Nest that often. So I'm not even certain I could imagine it as a normal deck.
Okay, well, I'll let the deck speak for itself because it's a lot of words to explain it to you, so I may as well let the action.
I'm in.
All right, let's see what Rose is going up against. We have Jesus Loves You. Oh, look at that unicorn profile picture.
It's beautiful.
I love it. It's so beautiful. Jesus Loves Unicorns on the other side of the battlefield with Is It Dragons? I promise you dragons, and I'm delivering.
You are. And I took a look at this list. I didn't really see anything, oh my gosh, that's so different compared to the we literally just saw a Dragons deck. It looks like only 3 Aldrin's Epiphany, a little bit less counter spells, and by a little bit, I think I mean actually just 1 because there's not a negate in the main deck. But yeah, you can sort of tell like this is just how the deck is, right? It's got some key cards you need to have, and then a couple flex slots, which usually land in the counter spell variety. I will say it looks like this deck might have 1 or 2 more threats than the last list we saw, because there's only 3 Frostbites and there's 1 less counter spell. So it sounds like likely there's an extra threat hanging out in there somewhere. Couldn't tell you what it is, but it's there. Oh, it's probably maybe a Mythic Dragon, the 4-mana one. Looks like there's 3 of those now.
Oh, yes, you're right. There are 3 copies of Galazeth in this deck.
I think there's more Mazemind Tomes than the last list we saw. Which is interesting.
That is interesting. And you did point out that is a card to watch that get that card advantage train rolling for Jesus Loves Unicorns. Let's see whether she can stop the Titan's Nest from getting down like she wanted to in her approach to the matchup this week. We are going to have a look at the point of view of HG Bros. Prismari command thus for meaning Double Shock and Aaron's Epiphany.
This I don't think you can say no to this hand from HG Rose's point of view. Like, we got 2 lands is a little low, but like we have every other way we can draw a card if we want in our deck. And you can cast those Shark Typhoons for 2 to draw a card if you desperately need to. So it kind of feels like a keep to me, but I don't know.
Yeah. Prismari command, honestly, Carolyn, is kind of like a Black Lotus in this deck.
Oh, okay. Good to know. I have a question for you. Are you as excited to play the Ketrion Triome in this deck as you are when you play it in another deck? Because
I'm slightly less excited to play the Ketrion Triome in this deck. I think Zagoth Triome would be my turn 1 Triome of choice. But this one still does make a lot of sense.
Oh, it's necessary for sure, but it doesn't feel like it gives me the whole like, yes, I did it package. Oh, but how about
a second one?
It is our third land, which is pretty huge, actually.
Yeah, we're going to see this Prismari command become very useful if Rose decides to go for it. It does have a couple of sharks to cycle as well.
It's kind of interesting. I was thinking like, what color do you pick there, red or green? And I was like, oh, I assume you pick green because you're playing like a Sultai list and just splashing red. But then I looked at the list and I was like, yeah, actually, no, there's a lot more red cards than there are green cards.
Yeah, it is not a splash. And it's like the green is just the nest, I think.
No, there's also the recovery, the Valagod recovery. But there's 2 of those, and then the rest is all red and blue. So yeah, that was funny. Oh, okay.
There's the 4th color of mana for Rose. Finds the Swamp of the Thirst for Meaning. Full grip of cards passing back over to Jesus Loves Unicorns. And this one does look like it's going to, be a little bit of a grindier, more resource-based matchup. So settle in, my friends.
Yeah. So one thing that, we're not looking from Jesus Loves Unicorns side. One thing that I think is concerning is the Dragons deck does really powerful things, but they do them kind of slowly. Like, they really don't have an action until turn 2 with the Mazemind Tomes, and then after that, like turn 5 or turn 4 with your dragons. So not playing anything on turn 3 or turn 4 really leaves Rose to do kind of whatever they want for a little while. So I think that can be a little concerning from Jesus Love Unicorn's side. I think they're going to win the matches where they go like turn 2 threat, turn 3 threat, turn 4 threat, like that kind of thing. So they don't have a lot of choices to do, to be fair. They also have some dead cards in game 1 too. Like these Frostbites, I'm sure, are not great.
Yeah, I'm sure you don't want to be left with a hand of removal that doesn't do anything. And you're right, Jesus Loves Unicorns could have developed out that Bone Crusher Giant, but decided not to. Maybe sitting back on some counter magic for the perceived threat of a Titan's Nest.
Yeah, which makes sense. That aligns with their statement, right? They said, I absolutely have to counter Titan's Nest. So if that's your plan, you're going to do that plan.
There is that Titan's Nest, but Rose going to play it safe for now. Going to keep blanking the mana of Jesus Loves Unicorns. I love that pathway, Carolyn. That specific Lava Glide pathway art.
Yeah, it looks more what's the word? Like it looks more fancy than the other ones. Like the other ones look like
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I struggle a little bit with some of the arts, like they don't look that different to each other. But that specific one with the pterodactyl flying around is so cool.
So we actually really should have stopped the match and just have a serious conversation. I can't believe we've let it go on so far, but what sleeves are better?
Oh.
These are also Secret Lair sleeves, right? The rat ones?
They are. The rat is like the year of the rat. Chinese New Year,
but
Lunar New Year promotion.
The Izzet sleeves just tell you like what's happening.
They do, and they're so cool. They're like really classy with that dark mode background and the right Izzet. I'm gonna call this one a draw.
I'm gonna give it to the.
Am I allowed to do that?
You can do whatever you want, but I'm not a coward. I'm gonna give it to the Izzet sleeves.
I am a coward.
I'm not a coward.
Rose, thinking about getting the Titan's Nest down now.
Yeah, I think Rose is an interesting spot. They've drawn a lot of cards, but ultimately they don't have a way of protecting this nest from a counterspell. So at some point, they do just have to play it. 2 mana sounds a little less scary than 3, because there's only a couple options. In fact, I think there was only it's Mystical Dispute or Disdainful Stroke in that spot. So I'm with Rose for casting that there. You got to make a move sometime.
Right, you got to get through these counterspells, right, and just hope to have a better spot later on.
Is this Shark Typhoon getting hard cast?
Well, let's think about what's going on the other side of the battlefield. Blue-red classically not very good at dealing with enchantments once they've hit the battlefield.
But they are really dealing with 6 mana with a counter spell.
Right. The stack is a different issue.
Oh, okay.
Let's just throw more Titan's Nest.
That's annoying. I wanted to see the Shark Typhoon get cast. Cowards.
Well, Carolyn, if the Titan's Nest hits the battlefield, you're going to see that Shark Typhoon get cast.
Oh, that's very true. Mana. Oh, it's happening right now. Let's go.
Happening right now. We're going to see Haiyue do a lot of clicking because you have to float every mana individually with Titan's Nest.
Oh my, that's awful.
Yeah, it is awful.
Yes, please.
That Shark Typhoon is being cast for just 1 mana. And let's see if Jaylu has the answer, because if not, we're going to see this enchantment take over very quickly.
So we can pay for Mystical Dispute.
Okay.
But we can't use Titan's Nest to do it, I assume. That would be busted.
I believe that's correct.
And it does mean that HG Rose can't continue going should this...
It resolves.
Could resolve, but they can't actually combo because they're out of colored mana. But
okay. Petty Theft is actually going to take the Titan's Nest away rather than the Shark Typhoon.
Or is it going to take both away?
Oh,
like
okay.
Like
Double Brazen Borrower.
Hey, let's
followed
go.
up by the Dragon. This is a huge attack in 4-8. Rose down to 6 in game number 1.
Okay, but here's the thing though. Like, if Rose gets to just go Titan's Nest Shark Typhoon again. Actually, hold on. Those 2 treasures actually was a key part of.
How about just Titan's Nest into Aaron's Epiphany straight away?
Oh, it looked weirdly like we were foretelling it, but I guess I just missaw. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, basically, I guess Rose doesn't necessarily get to go infinite because like that's not a thing, but they get to do whatever they want this turn.
Yeah, this is good. A big strategic planning. Does Extinction Event would actually kill both of those
and keep the 1/1
threats,
which is cool.
Yeah, and keep the 1/1s. So looks like Rose going to get the Shark Typhoon down first, and then maybe use this Extinction Event.
Oh yeah, for sure. I approve.
Oh, look at this. Makes a shark. That doesn't get killed because that is a token. Both of your threats are gone. Pass back over. What are you going to do if you're on Jaylu's side?
Well, I think Jesus Loves Unicorn did the thing they tried to do, put out all those threats, get some tempo going, but it just wasn't enough. It's kind of what I said. They took turn 3 and turn 4 off by holding up mana, and I think that is tough to keep doing damage if you're not playing any spells. But HG Rose is playing spells.
HG Rose is indeed playing spells. That Surveil ability from Titan's Nest, putting lands in the graveyard, but it doesn't matter because that's mana anyway when you have the Titan's Nest down.
Yep. Okay. Oh, one thing HG Rose does have to remember at some point, there are Brazen Borrowers on exile. So
right.
They do need to make sure that they don't suddenly get surprised, flown out of here. But it looks like
they do have a Prismari Command and an Opus in hand, so
yeah.
potentially some answers.
Yeah, so they're probably not. They also have a Shark Typhoon that they can make a blocker if they really want to. I would have just cast the second Shark Typhoon, but whatever. There's probably not enough mana, would be my assumption, because I didn't quite follow along with the graveyard. So
I think there's not infinite cards in there.
No, I think there's only like 1 actually.
Yeah, I don't even know if this Opus is castable just yet, but Prismari
think it is because I didn't see it highlighted.
That makes sense.
Oh no! Well, no, it's hard to tell because the Opus can highlight because it can cycle. Well, not cycle, but it can make the token.
Because it can make the treasure. Yeah, you're right.
So
okay.
My guess would be there's not enough cards.
Still, it is Jesus Loves Unicorn on the back foot in this game number 1. Iteration going digging. Finds some more mana and a card that went into the hand. God, Expressive Iteration is such a good card, Caroline.
Yeah, I like that card a lot. One thing to note, like, you know, ways that Haiyue can die is Faith or the Haven card, it can surprise damage us. So we, you know, Haiyue just has to pay attention and remember that there's a surprise 4/3.
There is a surprise 4/3 and, you know, some number of Bone Crusher Giants as well. Probably the full 4 since this game number 1.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, but for now, we draw some cards and do some damage.
It does feel like things are slipping away a little bit from Jesus Loves Unicorns. Has the Sword coming for the Prismari command, but that's not going to stop the shark from being made.
Yeah, so I was trying to think. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so not really enough. Like, I don't. Can you use the Titan's Nest to cycle the shark? You can't, right?
No, I think you can only use it to cast.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to cast it here. Hey, Frostbite coming in clutch.
This shark suddenly feels, you know, shivers up its spine.
Yeah.
Like, no. It's too cold.
I'm trying to think. Okay. So Haiyue has to remember the Faceless Haven, which I'm sure they have. I want to just cast a Shark Typhoon, but I don't know. It's hard to quite tell how much mana we have access to. I'm not great.
Oh, looks like Rose agrees with you. All right, it's 4 cards in the graveyard. So this Shark Typhoon is just going to cost 2 mana. Haiyue Rose will be able to leave up that Heartless Act.
Yeah, that was all I wanted to figure out, basically, was can we leave up Heartless Act? As long as we can do that, then Haiyue Rose is basically home free. So
it does seem like it would be difficult for Jaylee to deal with the double Shark Typhoon, especially only at 6 life. And there's even just the biggest one of these sharks is a lethal attacker.
Sorry, what size sharks? Are
big.
Are they baby
big,
sharks?
No, they are big sharks. That is a 4/4 and a 6/6, Caroline. They definitely fall in the big category.
If only there was like a really catchy tune.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we need one. The world has seen enough.
Need? Maybe not. But we'll get anyway. Just kidding. I was so sometimes, like, I don't know, memories are kind of weird. And so the other day, the memory of you and I streaming, I think probably like the preview event for whatever set Shark Typhoon was in, was really funny.
Yeah.
I sang that song a lot.
Well, I'm glad you know, have good memories of us doing that. Let's see. It looks like Haiyue is going to go in for the lethal attack. There are 2 Brazen Borrowers.
Yeah, but there's many ways that we can deal with that Brazen Borrower. At least one of them. Again, cards in graveyard is... I wish there was a way where we could see it much better. Because we can just... Oh, I think... I can't tell if Jesus Loves Unicorns has cards in hand. If they did, I guess maybe that's why. Because the Opus can just tap the two Brazen Borrowers if we really wanted to. So I think we were good to go.
I think there were a couple of cards and that treasure up as well. So.
There's a couple lines to lethal, I think, on that one.
Yeah. Haiyue is taking down game number 1. We are going to look at the sideboard. Some of these Heartless Acts are, I think, maybe going to hit the bench.
Oh, that's surprising to me, actually. I think...
Actually, Haiyue is completely not doing what I said in any way. I'm going to shave some of the top end, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I was like, nah, I think
they know how to play that deck. I'm just spewing words out.
They were nice words.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Spewing Words Out with Haiyue and Carolyn.
Wow. This is a hand. This
is a hand.
Okay, so on the weekend, I had the pleasure of watching the finals of Strixhaven Championship, and you were there too, actually. I don't know if you know this.
Correct.
And we were watching the finals match, and one of the people in chat was telling us the advantage bar based on the converted mana cost of each player's hand. So if we're going off by that theory, HG Rose has this in the bag, sorry.
Right. If the advantage bar was based purely on how expensive your hand is, HG Rose is like, oh yeah, 7 mana here, 6 mana
we
here.
got it locked up. Not quite sure that's how this matchup works, but that's all I really got for us, so.
Nice.
Oh, good. Just make our hand a little more unthickened.
I mean, this is not the most assertive of draws from HG Rose in an already not the most assertive deck, but they are going to be able to set up for later on, putting both of those epiphanies in the foretell zone already.
So I will say, and I don't really understand, I don't know how important the recovery is to our game plan, but I will say not playing it as a tapped green source on turn 3 is interesting, just because if we were actually to draw the nest, we can't cast it. Because I don't think that's a green. The other duel is not a green on the back. I think it's red on the back, right?
It's red on the back, but I see what you mean, Caroline. HG Rose did choose to play that untapped Lava Glide pathway and maybe leave up a Mystical Dispute.
Yeah, I was going to say
something like the 4 mana dragon, perhaps.
Yeah, there's clearly a reason why it got left up. I was just, at some point, if we just are going to hope we draw a forest, which I guess we did, so never mind. But I'm curious, maybe the recovery is just such a key part of our deck in a situation like this where HG Rose isn't doing that much, that they just want to keep the recovery, and that's totally reasonable. I've not a ton of experience playing this deck,
What do you mean, Caroline? What do you mean you don't have a ton of experience with standard all-star 4-color Titan Zest? That is not sarcastic. I love this deck. I love it so much. And
my wild cards collection has it's taken a little bit of a vacation. I crafted a deck that I can't play anymore, so it's taken a little bit of I used a lot of wild cards.
Oh no. I was actually saved by my own laziness because
you love to see that.
I wanted to craft Jeskai turns for a historic event I was playing, but I would have needed to do I think 1 or 2 more drafts to get the right number of wildcards, and I was just too lazy to do it. So I just didn't do it and played a different deck, and then Time Warp got banned. So I was very happy to see that my laziness paid off at least once.
So Rose is in a spot where they are good to go. They got all the epiphanies in the world. They just kind of have to do something with them.
It can come later.
Whereas Jesus Loves Unicorn just hasn't put anything on the board, and I'm just getting concerned that playing, a 4 and 5 drop every turn now for the rest of the game won't have the same impact. However, there are 2 Faceless Havens in play, and right now 5 other Snowlands, so we need 1 more Snowland for both of them, and they can do a scary amount of damage quickly.
They can definitely do a scary amount of damage.
But so can these Aldrin Epiphanies, so we'll see.
Looks like Rose is going to pass the turn and maybe hold up this Shark Typhoon on the cycle.
How
I believe
big is
they have.
Is it a 4/4?
I think it's going to be a 4/4. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll eat the Mythic Dragon.
It would eat the
I
Mythic
really
Dragon.
should not call it that because they're both Mythic Dragons. But
yeah,
but it's like the college. It's the
named dragon. It's the Elder Dragon.
Okay, well that I also don't think I can call it the Elder Dragon. I think that also has been taken.
Okay, it's Galazeth Prismari, Mr. Prismari.
Mr. Prismari. Okay, that I can get behind.
And the shark is saying, "No, Mr. Prismari, you don't have the right permits." Okay.
Nom, nom, nom.
Oh, nom.
Hey, is it time to go? You do kind of hate to see it draw the Titan's nest off the Shark Typhoon. I guess we could recovery it back, so maybe all's not lost.
Yeah, that recovery that Rose has been holding since the very first opening hand.
Yeah, Rose had way more faith in their deck that they would draw a green source than I did. there was 3 turns in a row where they're like, nah, I'll get it eventually.
And you were just like, Rose, please.
I was just like,
I can feel your anxiety.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we thought about it, that we didn't have green. I just wanted to, make sure there was some consideration had. That's all. That's all, Haiyue.
The turn gets passed back over, and once again, we see Jesus of the Unicorns keeping mana up instead of getting these adventure creatures down. So I wonder what is going on in hand. Do they have sharks of their own?
I can check for us. 1 in the board.
Ooh. So it's possible.
A little tradesies, like one shark eats dragon, shark eats other shark. It's a little turducken.
It's the circle of life.
Oh, there you go. Good call. Good call.
That 1 of Shark Typhoon from the sideboard.
More importantly, this 2 mana being left up, which has to basically be Disdainful Stroke or Negate, would be my guess. Or I guess maybe technically Mystical Dispute, but I think we can pay for a Mystical Dispute. So I think it's signaling very strongly that Jesus Love Unicorn has Disdainful Stroke or Negate. Whether or not that is the case, we'll have to see. Or hoping to draw it, I guess. We'll never know.
Wow, that 1 treasure from Galazeth earlier on really helping Jesus Love Unicorns.
Have you played with Galazeth at all?
I have. Do you know, the first time I played with Galazeth, I sided in, there was 1 copy of Shadow Spear or something on the side. I sided it in, I played a Shadow Spear, and then I went to cast, I think it was a counter spell, and it tapped my Shadow Spear. Like, Arena just auto-tapped my Shadow Spear. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, but isn't that the most satisfying feeling?
Yeah, it was so satisfying. Yeah. I was like, wow, this card is amazing. I thought you could only tap the treasures, but it turns out you could tap any
well, that's why Maze Mind Tome is great. Double duty. Yeah. Sometimes you just have Negate up and you don't even realize it. It's pretty cool. So I was right, just in case you missed it. Jesus Love Unicorns did have the Negate. There was no way of knowing. But HG Rose was able to bring back that Titan's Nest. So maybe we get to do it all again.
This is a huge attack, though. That is 13 damage. Rose down to 5, and that is a 5/5 shark in the air.
Beep, beep, beep. So I think the thing I can't see is the blue. So so it looks like HG Rose does have access to a lot of blue mana. So theoretically can do some epiphanying.
It looks like that is going to be maybe. Oh, there's only 6 cards in the graveyard, so not a lot of mana, spare mana, as it were, to work with right now.
How does this work? Draw 2. So is the thirst
discard 2?
Okay, yeah, discard 2. So the thirst is neutral, except for neutral on cards in graveyard, right? Oh no, it's up a card,
right?
Because it puts itself in there too.
It puts itself in there, yeah. So Aaron's Epiphany, the first one, is going to happen. We're probably going to be seeing a lot of turns being taken now by HG Rose.
Yes, that is my guess as well. Probably. Oh, I think we kind of need that one, actually.
Oh, it's interesting putting that one in the graveyard. There are 2 extinction events in hand, but they can only deal with things at sorcery speed. Those Faceless Havens hanging out in the, in the land pile for Jay, they are going to be a problem.
They are. HG Rose does get the ability to end on 2/1/1s at any point. So it's not
right.
Not GG, one would say. Assuming.
I have to say, I'm very impressed with how good HG Rose is at floating this mana from Titan's Nest. It's so difficult. The first time I saw this Titan's Nest, deck, this engine being played. It was like maybe 9 months ago in a tournament online, and the player who played it, I talked to them afterwards because I was like, this deck is so cool. And I said, wow, would you recommend playing this? And the player, it was this Japanese player called Haiyue. And he came into the chat and he said, I do not recommend playing this deck.
Love it.
Because you have to click so many times.
So this is one thing that I was processing, like if I was to play this deck, I'd have to keep remembering which cards I would not want to exile with Titan's Nest. Because I'm playing Recovery. And I think Ichiro's is sort of in a similar spot where speed mattered in that, getting all those Titans activations. So I wonder, like, if you could pick a card, is it still there in the graveyard? I can't tell. But
right.
My guess would be Shark Typhoon would have stayed, but I'm not like, I really actually don't know. So
I mean, it's possible that you're going to use all of these cards anyway.
Right. Yeah. And you didn't have, like, it wasn't there at any point. It wasn't in Ichiro's hand, so it makes sense. Okay, let's go. 1/1s. Yeah. Okay, this is our last turn.
Getting in. Coming up.
Yeah. Get out of here.
See what Rose finds. It's another Titan's Nest, but there's plenty of draws to keep going.
Yeah, strategic planning seems great. Oh, well, I guess you can go again. It really fills your graveyard freaking fast. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's so good in this deck.
Yeah, it's cool. Command actually is interesting. It does technically let these birds start trading with the Faceless Havens, which is nice. Wait, these aren't legendary?
I see what you mean.
I have no idea. I didn't even. I just.
They are not legendary.
So you just get 2 surveils, basically.
Right.
Cool.
It doesn't help you get more mana, unfortunately.
So how many are you attacking with? I'm attacking with 2, which should be greedy, I guess.
I think 2 is about right because you're not going to die from just one Faceless Haven, right? So.
Right. Unless they play a Fervent Champion. Then you would.
Okay, you got me there, Caroline. Unless they play a Fervent Champion.
Chat can't see it, but I have a smug look on my face.
I think they can see it in their mind's eye.
That's true. I'm not wrong.
There are others. I mean, there's Stomp, there's all sorts of things. Although having said that, I just noticed the negate in hand for Haiyue. So
Hold on.
Once again, please completely ignore spewing words with Haiyue and Caroline.
Speak for yourself. My Fervent champion play was great.
Okay.
I'm gonna be right back. Gonna build a deck.
Here comes Bone Crusher Giant. Well, if you like aggro creatures with dragons, Caroline, and dear viewers, hold on to your horses. Because we have more dragons coming up later, and some of them are not quite going to be what you expect.
I have a question. Also, great clickbait clip right there. I have a question. Are horses rogues? Just wondering.
What?
You said hold on to your horses. I just want to know if I have any rogue horses. Or are they just normal
Some
horses?
of them could go rogue.
Do they have reach?
Wow. Only if they don't have flying. That's what we've decided.
Oh, hello.
Oh. Magma Opus, what about that?
8 mana mythic? Must be good.
Although, if Rose targets the Bone Crusher Giant at any point, that is going to put them down pretty low.
I think we don't have to. I think Magnus Opus can just do 4 damage to Jesus Love Unicorn's face, should we need it to.
That's a good point.
A lot of mana, a lot of damage. Also, it taps 2 things, so it can tap the Faceless Havens.
Oh. I love that.
HG Rose is
Faceless
really
Haven is so gross. Why does it have vigilance? Like, honestly, did it need vigilance? No, it didn't.
Did you know that it's a rogue?
Did you know that it's a horse?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, the first time that you play like the mono, when I first played the mono red deck with Faceless Haven, and I attacked with like a robber, or I attacked with a robber, and then later I attacked with a Faceless Haven, and I got access to the card. I was like, oh my goodness! Or like when you attack with a Fervent Champion and it pumps the Faceless Haven,
and it's like 5/3, and you're like, come on,
yeah,
why did this?
It's so satisfying. Nagate. Oh,
Rose is thinking
Rose
about
is
it.
so much more patient than I am. I'm like, nah, negate.
You just like play that battle again, recovering on 3.
Yeah. Clearly, I would have lost this game a long time ago because we used that battle again to get back to Titan's Nest. But my reasoning for negating was a little bit less silly. Like, not removing the 3/1 as a threat for Jesus Loves Unicorn is also a huge thing because we are running out of these 1/1s. They're not around forever. So we do need to be careful of the secret lethal. That's like what I'm always looking out for. I'm really
secret lethal is another different kind, type of lethal.
Secret lethal is actually great. Some people call it like onboard lethal or like you messed up lethal, but I like secret lethal, you know?
Doesn't secret mean the opposite of onboard?
Well, they're really the same thing. They were both onboard.
I see.
And secretive.
Oh, look at this. 4 damage to the face. Tap this one down. Tap the other untapped land down.
Okay, let's pay very little lands for this one. So the question that I'm curious about here is, are we going to cast this Prismari command? That's what I want to know. Oh, we're playing an interesting game. It's called Race the Clock. Race the rope.
Race the rope.
Oh, we used our timeout. Oh no. I can't.
Well, that's fine. Okay, using a timeout is fine.
They both have like a reasonable amount of time left. They both have around 10 minutes.
Honestly, that is the thing that I wanted to. The reason that I didn't want to learn the Vadrot combo deck.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
The mutate combo. Oh my goodness.
Nagat?
Okay.
Yeah.
Rose's patience pays off holding that negate for the stump.
Whatever. It's fine. I would have lost this game a long time ago. Hey!
Oh, that is gas. Look at those draws.
Can we just cast it? Rose. We can cast it, right? We must have a million cards.
The Opus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Go again. Spin again, Rose. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah.
4 damage. We have lethal.
Oh, and now it's going to be tap the Bone Crusher Giant.
Yeah, it's lethal in many ways.
It's going to be lethal, and Haiyue's just a masterclass in how to operate this super innovative, super cool deck.
The combos.
The combo mill the Oxymogonus.
That's a 1 of Oxymogonus.
For 1 million damage, and Rose is going to take this one down 2 games to 0. Congratulations to HG Rose getting through to the top 16 with yet another awesome brew. And wow, Caroline, I really hope Titan's Nest goes all the way.
Yeah, me too. Which one thing I will say with Rose still playing in the next top 16, they will likely. I won't give away their secrets, but you can look back at their history. You can see there's been a lot of love for the Titan's Nest this season. There's been a lot.
All right. So that was a kind of a marathon of a match, but I have to say I'm super impressed with both players play that, especially, also with Jesus Loves Unicorns, managed to hold up counter spells. And we tried to enact that game plan that they were talking about, but unfortunately didn't quite get that this time. Just one more match left for the evening. And if you're a fan of dragons, we have more. There are infinite numbers of dragons. I think there's probably 20 copies of Goldspan Dragon in the feature match area or something.
Yeah, how many Aldrin's Epiphanies? Because
I've lost count.
Well, because some of the non-dragons list had them, so I wonder.
That's true, actually. So for Branka on this side of the battlefield, blue-red dragons. I think this list, Caroline, only plays the 2 copies of Mr. Prismari and does have a couple more counter spells.
Oh, Mr. Prismari, love it. So it's looking like. Let's see, we got 3 disputes, 3 Sought Comings, 1 disdainful stroke. Is that the right list? Yeah.
Yeah, that is it.
And only 3 frostbites. So kind of honestly, like, these players are playing with like the 59th and 60th card. Like, Very similar list for sure. The sideboard, the biggest thing that I saw is like there's only 2 Cinderclasms as opposed to the 3 we saw in the first list. Still that nice little one of Shark Typhoon, might make an appearance.
That's true. I will say, as we go over to the other side of Battlefield and look at Branka's opponents list, that Bloody Mess Jess, who we want to give a huge shout out to because she's been writing weekly text coverage articles of a match that we're not featuring, and they've been awesome. And Bloody Mess Jess has submitted basically a blue-red, like something in the blue-red space almost every week. She submitted Jeskai Control, Jeskai Coma combo, Blue-Red Dragons. Like, she really has been playing a lot of blue decks. So can really understand why Branka chose to put those, shave a Frostbite here and there, put an extra Mystical Dispute. But Jess this week turned it around. Red-White Dragons. This is a brewski of her own. And this combines the power of Goldspan Dragon, of Bone Crusher Giant, with Season Hallowed Blade and Elite Spellbinder, Caroline.
Yeah, so I had to admit, I was going to call a little bit of BS on calling this Red-White Dragons. Like, I was getting ready to call you all both out. And then I found the second dragon. And I changed my mind. I was like, there's only Goldspan Dragon. This is unacceptable. But no. There's not. What the heck does Leyline Tyrant do?
Well,
is it the one that takes a human or an artifact?
No, the Leyline Tyrant is the one that stores up red mana. So your red mana doesn't dissipate as phases and turns end. So you can just keep storing up red mana. And then when it dies, it deals damage to any target equal to the number of red mana you have.
Okay, let's go, I guess.
The multicolored card hiding out there is Showdown of the Skulls as well. So.
There's a fling in this deck. How much damage can you do with that?
I don't know. There's a Showdown of the Skulls, so you can start piling up counters on something and then, throw it at your opponent's face.
Wow, that seems fun.
All right, I'm really excited to see this deck in action. Let's go down and see what happens here in our final feature match of the evening. We are going to be looking at it from Branka's perspective, from Blue-Red Dragons and Counterspell and Dragon. What more could you want?
Now this is a Haiyue hand.
This is a Haiyue
hand. In limited, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. You'd snap you that limited. Okay. This does feel a little bit better. It's only 2 lines.
Yeah, I was going to say, Branka, sending that one back. This is a nice 6 Disdainful Stroke iteration. Brazen Borrower, that Galzeth Prismari getting sent away.
Where'd you go, Mr. Prismari?
Mr. Prismari going away for now.
How dare he?
Just decide to keep some of the cheaper cards in hand. Oh, there's a Goldspan Dragon.
Oh, that's a good trade. Put one dragon, get a new one. I like it.
No 2-drop here for Bloody Mess Jess.
I will say that Branka gets to do potentially the best turn 2 play, which was the expressive iteration, but it sounds like they kind of want to hold up some stomps or brazen borrows instead. But
oh, how about Redain? God of the Worthy.
Which has text.
So much text.
Well, I mean that in the sense that it says Snowlands come into play tapped, which Branka has Snowlands, so that's why. But still pretty cool. Okay, so the toughest part about expressive iteration, honestly, is figuring out what order you click the cards in. It's kind of embarrassing how long I have to process. Like, okay, this one goes to my hand. So the way I always imagined it was hand, exile, bottom of the deck. Because that's the order of which I care about them. I'm like, okay, I care most about which goes to my hand. Then I want to pick a cool card for exile. And I don't care about the card that goes to the bottom of my deck. So it should be the last thing I have to think about. But that's not how the card resolves. And it is.
No, I completely agree with you, Caroline. You should not get 1 and 3, right? Why is it 1 and 3 that you get?
Yeah, because So your brain has to go, okay, what card do I want the most? Cool. Okay, now click the card you want the least. And then you get the card you want the second most out of default. It is awkward. It's awkward.
Oh, I completely agree with you, Caroline. We are going to see Paolo do a little bit of work here for Bloody Mess Jess. Does get stomped straight away, but that Goldspan Dragon is now very expensive.
Yeah. That's a funny one to make expensive, because if it was any other card, Goldspan Dragon would help out. Be like, oh, you want some free mana? But it can't really help itself out, you know? Can't really make treasures from exile, so.
From exile. That would be extremely busted.
Yeah, it would. Okay, so Brinka has really crafted the turns to always hold up. I would assume at this point Disdainful Stroke, though maybe also Brazen Borrower, in a different way that I would, which we know I would have been like, let's tap out. So
it's going to be Fire Prophecy to start with on the Bone Crusher Giant for Jess. I'm going to do a little bit of card selection. Find the untapped mana for this turn, and here comes Redain again.
And there goes Redain again.
Wow, this Redain did not stick on the battlefield.
Yeah, a little dance here, a little dance there. Can we? Okay, yeah. So there's not. I don't think there's 4 blue hanging out. So playing the 6 land doesn't really allow for the double borrowers. Okay, wait. So we want to put the tap one on the bottom and then exile the Fatal Passage. I'm not even trolling. Like, it's really difficult. Like, my brain does not work that way. It's very
it's 100% difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely played it wrong the first couple of times.
Redain, come down again.
There's no way of knowing. No way of knowing.
Now, Jess does know about the Disdainful Stroke in Branka's hand, having seen it earlier from the Elite Spellbinder.
Right. It's hard to tell. I can't see the little eyeball, but yeah, that makes sense.
So I wonder what's going on in Jess's hand, because we didn't see those Seasoned Howler Blades. We didn't see the 2-drops come down earlier. So maybe some number of dragons.
Oh, hey, a dragon. I get to read it now. No, I don't. Fabled Passage just like...
Don't worry, it's going to get Disdainful Stroke in a second.
I would hope
you can read it next time.
I would hope so. We've been holding up this Disdainful Stroke for quite some time. Hey, can we finally guess our dragon?
I believe we could, but Branka is going to choose to take the extra turn first.
Okay.
Just get that in the bank for now. Now, are you going to tap out for this dragon here?
Right, so it's interesting. So you get 2 mana. So it's not like a full tap out. But what's annoying is that you can't hold up Saw it coming if you do that. So I think Branka's deciding... I think the way that Branka has played this game is it's like this Saw, like counter spells is huge, and I need to continue to do that. So my imagination is that we are going to continue that plan. Always have a counter spell. That looks like that's what's happening. Lots of tricky mana being tapped. I'm gonna assume there's a dual land that we can't see. I'm
gonna go away and brew a Stonebinder's Familiar, saw it coming deck.
I like it.
Just putting so many things in exile.
Redain.
Here's Redain again for Bloody Mess Jess. This time she hits the battlefield. She's not going to get bounced straight away. There's no interaction for it just yet from Branka's side of the field.
Well, I think at this point the Redain isn't impacting things too much, would be my guess.
I guess she makes Auron's Epiphany very expensive.
Yeah. Stop.
Boney G. Branka not gonna use that Saw It Coming.
Yeah, Branka has really shown like restraint on the counterspell, so I imagine it's being saved for like probably the Skeld or another big dragon. Something scary.
Does have that Maze Mind tome up as well to draw some lands, draw some cards.
Wow.
That was very rude of me.
Cursing Franca? That's so rude.
Goodness. That was very rude of me. There is
Megan.
that Leyline Tyrant. But don't worry, Caroline, you don't have to read it yet.
Good. I saw it coming.
Counted again.
Well, actually, you saw it coming. But I don't have to read it, so that's all that really matters. Okay. Redane, what you doing? Oh, you're hanging back? Okay, that makes sense.
Just hanging back.
And draw a card?
Step. Gonna see Breezy Bee. I'm flying in.
Let's draw a card. Branka's also been very patient with this Maze Mind tome. Like, it's been around for a little bit, and it has 0 counters on it until now. Oh, Redane, it's your favorite card. Brazen Borrower.
Oh, not again.
Oh my gosh, I love that you get to pick which way it enters tapped.
Oh, wow.
I had not seen that before.
Which replacement effect would you like?
Would you like it to enter tapped? Or would you like it to enter tapped? That's your choice. I did learn.
I think Branka made the right choice, though. You got to let it enter tapped on your
account. Of course, definitely. Okay, so I did learn that Fabled Passage fetching a snowland does not get redeemed, which is kind of nice.
No.
Yeah.
Because Fabled Passage says untap it.
Yeah, it doesn't care how it got there. It doesn't care which choice you made. Ooh, Dragon Battles?
Dragon v Dragon.
Dargon Battles?
Dargon Battles.
So the question is, do you bounce the Dargon? It looks like we do not. Ooh, but we might eat the Redane. That's exciting.
Right, I think Branka's really just thinking, just flash out the creature side, right?
Yeah, it's looking... I think that's the process with the thinking happening. Oh, you know what? You don't even have to eat the Redane. You can also eat the Goldspan Dragon. So you got these 1/1s. They're still here.
You can put a 1/1 and a 3/1 on it.
Yeah, it's risky. Like, obviously Stomp exists. Actually, Stomp and Frostbite exists, so maybe it's a little riskier than that. Oh, we got to think. What are we doing? It looks like it's not as simple as, like, oh, just cast the Borrower. It looks like maybe Petty Theft is being considered. Okay, JK.
You're right, Caroline. Something like a Frostbite is, something to think about, because then you've lost the tempo ability of using the Petty Theft.
Right. And the other thing with the Frostbite is there hasn't really been any. So, like, there's been a couple Stomps. There hasn't really been any Frostbite, so it's possible. Oh my gosh. Seasoned Howlblade is in this deck?
Yeah, Seasoned Howlblade is in this deck. A little less impressive on turn number 1,000,000 than on turn number 2, but it is down. Though Branka just stone cold rips a second Goldspan Dragon.
How you do. It's how you do.
And things looking pretty bad now for Bloody Mess Jess in game number 1.
Yeah, and Branka has at least one more card draw, can technically fire up this Faceless Haven should they need a blocker, which they likely don't, but just in case.
It's just dragons everywhere.
Yeah, everyone's kind of doing a real good job at top decking these dragons. I don't know if this one can afford to attack is kind of the concern, unfortunately. Oh, and this Seasoned Howlblade is not indestructible at the moment.
Right.
Oh,
Iteration is a great draw here.
I am firing this off right meow.
Are you a hasty cat?
Yes. Also, These are some pretty good hits. There's 4 damage.
These are incredible
I think this is just Oh, hold on. Okay, interesting. I think there has to still be a lethal line here, because we can Bone Crusher away the Seasoned Howlblade. No, we don't. Yeah, we do need to.
Well, the Howlblade
it can't get indestructible. No, but it blocks this. It blocks the face.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So this is going to be a lethal attack.
I like this.
Branka. When people Bloody Mess just hops out of the
before you attack, I leave. So illegal attacks were declared. I like it.
So looking at the sideboard now, oh, that's a lot of red removal here for Branka.
Yes. That is kind of the theme with these red-blue dragon decks. They kind of need a little help against some of the creature matchups. My guess would be, this is interesting because the dragon part of Jess's deck is like the blue-red deck, but then the white part is more like a creature deck. So normally you would just snap, bring in the counter spells and call it a day. But you kind of can't do that. I think you have to bring in the red removal. But the counter spells were a huge part of Branka's plan. Like watching them play out, they leaned heavily on always having a counter as an option. So kind of interesting. I love Jess just does some cool things with deck building. So
does look like the red cat melees are coming in. Soulseer, that one is quite nice against something like a Seasoned Hallowblade. But it looks like Branka isn't going for the whole hog.
I am mostly curious as well of what Jess is up to, because Jess has 4 main deck Frostbites and 3 Fire Prophecies. And I don't there's not a world you can keep all of those in. So some of those have to come out. But what, like, I guess they can replace them with their removal. They've got some Soul Seers and stuff. As we were talking, Branka added the Crowan War, which is spicy.
I love the Crowan War.
That's going to be a big tempo play.
I've been like very converted by season 4 VML champion Hogpug, who like a Crowan War is literally her favorite card, and she goes on about it all the time. And every time anyone plays a red deck, she's like, "Gotta have a Crowan War." And
is that
so
what you
now
guys
I just
do
have it in my head
in those group chats at night? It's just you and Hogpug talking about the Crowan War.
Honestly, that is exactly what we do.
You need to stop by more often. Oh my gosh, they both have the same avatar. I didn't even notice.
That Zimone avatar is so cool. Zimone is such a great card. I really can't wait until Bone Crusher Giant rotates and we can see all these.
I think I've been calling her Zimone.
Oh, I love that.
Well, now I'm not sure. Chat, let us know if I'm wrong. I'm not reading chat.
Wow. That was just stone cold.
Well, they can still let me know. I'm just not reading it. I don't know. It's not. They don't need to know that I'm not looking. Well, they do because I told them. But anyway, moving on.
Look at this Phoenix of Ash out of
it.
The sideboard, I imagine, for Bloody Mess Jess. That one is going to come flying in. That's pretty nice against this kind of damage-based removal.
Whoa.
And I believe Branka did not bring the Scorching Dragonfires in.
Well, there's such patience there. That Frostbite's like, nah, we chilling. We waiting. Okay.
There's a lot of patience holding up this.
I love it.
Wow, just fire up the Faceless Haven and start attacking. And Jess says, you can hold up Disdainful Stroke all you like. I'm gonna just
I love it. Also, Branka's a little ocarino on her removal spells.
That Frostbite does not do 3 damage because the second land that she played was in fact a Riverglide Pathway. So Phoenix is going to get stopped for now, but Frostbite could not take down Faceless Haven that turn.
Yeah, so I think Branka has to fire off an expressive and hope for an untapped red Snowland, which is asking for a heck of a lot.
Does not find an untapped red Snowland, but does find Snow-Covered Island. Okay,
the more I think about it, the more like that is insane that you have to tap the card you don't want in second. It's very funny.
It is insane. It's just Branka just keeps displaying the same patience we've seen from her all match. Disdainful Stroke finding its intended target in Goldspan Dragon. There's that second red source off the top, and she gets to develop the Goldspan Dragon down first. Wow, what a series of events for
And
Branka.
It's a Snowland. So now the Frostbite's back in action. We have access to Red Cat Melee and Frostbite should we need it. Branka will have like tomes going in a few minutes. Like we're definitely at the point of the game that Branka wants to be at. And the question is, did Bloody Mess just do enough damage to get us to the spot? And I'm not quite sure. I don't think Bloody Mess Jess's deck has like 14 damage surprise. So
14 damage surprise. What a deck name that would be.
Oh, I played a limited deck that had 14 damage surprise. You were there. It was GP Phoenix. It was like not the PT one, the previous time, and it had a bunch of Throne of Eldraine. It had a bunch of the like the 3/1 that pumps, and then something like does double damage or something. So I was able to do like 18 damage in a limited. Yeah, it was cool.
I love that.
Okay,
so
sorry.
Jess did get the Vanishing Light down to answer
the one
Branka's Goldspan Dragon. Yeah, the one of Vanishing Light.
I only know because I was like, wait, that's cards in the set? That card's legal and standard? Who knew?
Yeah, it was Theros Beyond Death, so it's currently legal in standard.
Oh,
is this going to be a bounce on the Vanishing Light?
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, let's go.
The dragon has haste. There's a copy of Sword coming in hand. This is turning out to be a really interesting game too.
Branka is playing, just doing everything they want to be doing. I absolutely am here for it. Like they have really played to say like I must have a counter at all times, and there's been spots where they didn't have it, and then they just managed to find it. So pretty cool. Like the Saw Coming came off the expressive iteration, and it's pretty
yeah,
cool.
for sure. Just a real lesson in patience and playing these types of tempo decks.
No, Saw Coming's for Told. It doesn't have lesson. That's different. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. My bad. It was just a joke. Okay. Because yeah.
Didn't even say it.
I know.
What's great is that I don't even have to say anything. But
I know that
just your guilty complex just kicks in.
Well, I can't see you, so I couldn't tell how mad you were.
Caroline, I know you're not reading chat right now, but I can tell you that there are requests for a replacement cast.
Oh, that's rude. Why are they asking for you to be replaced?
I don't know. I thought I'd been doing a good job, but I guess they just want more incredibly bad jokes.
I don't really understand how you get to live on a brand of making awful puns, and I make one and I get booed out of the room. This feels unfair. There's a lot going on in the stack.
Yeah, a big stack developing. Vanishing Light is trying to come down again. Saw it coming. Red Cap melee. Everything is going. But in the end, Branka is going to end up with a Brazen Borrower and no dragon.
I have a question. Would you say in the end it didn't really matter?
Well, it did matter a little bit because she got to get that Brazen Borrower down. So unless you count the Brazen Borrower as negligible amounts of mattering, in which case it didn't really matter.
No, I respect Brazen Borrower. It matters to me. Hey!
Another Sword coming. The counter spells just keep flowing here for Branka.
Are there actually requests for me to be replaced?
Oh, yeah, Caroline. I'm not making that up. There are boos.
Can I have names?
Threats to turn the microphones off.
Can I have names? I'd like names, please.
I'm going to protect the confidentiality of my sources.
Does Twitch chat get to be
goodness.
like protected? This seems unfair.
Bloody Man's just untapping with Phoenix of Ash, and now it really is a race with Branka at 10 life and Jess at 9. Oh, there's that other Phoenix from the graveyard.
Yeah, there's been a couple. We know that one of these Phoenixes can be stopped, but I don't think there's 2 red. I can't quite tell, unfortunately, but my guess is there's only 1 red.
I believe you're correct. So there's going to be Frostbite on the larger Phoenix, the one that just came out of the graveyard.
One thing I guess I don't quite know, but one thing Branka has been doing is not scrying, and then never mind. I was going to say they've been really holding the tomes for just cards, but I guess maybe their mana's a little short, so they can't quite afford to do that. Okay, so now they're like double protected from these Phoenixes. So at the moment, Oh, here we go.
Wow. Branka is actually going to start getting aggressive. Jess is at 9 life, so this attack is going to put Jess within stomp range if it goes through. Fire Prophecy is going to have something to say about that, though.
So I'm super, like, I love it. I love being aggressive. The thing I'm always scared about is the other side's Faceless Haven and that their surprise attack.
Oh.
So
there it is.
Yeah, so I just need to. And okay, hold on. The Faceless Haven, great card. The Phoenix can now pump post attack because Faceless Haven has Vigilance. The pump is 3 mana, true. Right? Yeah.
So the pump is 3 mana, correct? But we are gonna see Stomp. Just take out Phoenix of Ash first. This is so interesting. This race is just incredible. Is there another
Stomp? Oh my gosh, does Jess have another Stomp? Oh,
it's Fling! It's the Fling! Because Zeal's Fury is gonna fling the Phoenix at Brazen Borrower and fizzle that Stomp. So things looking good for Jess in game number 2 right now, but there is a red cap melee for Branka.
Right, and I don't think Jess has enough mana to be able to bring back one of the Phoenixes and attack with the Faceless Haven. So, so far so good. So not dying theoretically on the next turn. But they kind of need to play.
Are we gonna see Branka use a red cap melee on a land?
Oh, I think you're locked. Like, it's lethal otherwise, so I think they have to. And I also do think that they have to play this Mazemind Tome. So they're kind of locked into their decisions.
But that first Mazemind Tome does have 3 counters on it. So if Branka lives through this turn,
1, 2, 3, 4.
She is going to gain 4 life from that Mazemind Tome.
I was triple checking that there can't go Phoenix and Haven in the same.
Yeah, I don't think that's there's enough for that.
Okay, and that's also interesting. There are no more cards at the moment, so there's not really a spot where Jess can do double Phoenixing. Also, this works out for Branka because the red cat melee on the Phoenix is a lot less scary. Oh, I like this. I like this. A little bit of chicken.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of chicken because they're basically saying to Jess, like, do you want to pump for lethal?
Right.
So it's a game of chicken. I am terrified to
and Jess does not take the bait. I love this. Look at the 2 players just jostling, for position here in the late stages of this game.
I like it.
Look at that. Using the Mazemind Tome, baiting that pump effect. Yeah, always had it.
Okay, that's a fantastic draw because that protects us against Faceless Haven yet again. Because oh no, is it not land?
Never mind. It's not land permanent.
Yeah, okay, I lied.
Okay, so but
the
Branka's gaining 4 life.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Oh, so my goodness.
I know Branka loves the counter spells, but I think the time is sailed on that one. Ooh.
Gonna go scrying again. Land to the bottom.
Well, the aggro scry here has a couple different benefits. Like, one is, obviously making Branka's draws better, but also getting the counters up quickly to get 4 more life might be relevant as well. So this is pretty hard for these Phoenixes.
Gonna fire up the Faceless Haven. This is going to tell Jess a lot about what's in hand for Branka, right? Like,
okay, so here's the path to victory for Branka. Cast the Brazen Borrower. Okay, well, I guess you can get value and just do both half. So cast the Brazen Borrower and then draw a dragon or an Epiphany.
Right.
So I did it.
Or a Stomp?
No, Stomp's only 5, right?
Oh, you're right. But I just assumed everything had 4 power.
But a Stomp would stabilize because then the Bone Crusher could block. Okay, Scry. So we're not getting 4 life this turn.
Hey! There it is! It's Goldspan Dragon off the top.
For what it's worth, I'm not necessarily cheering for either player, but I just wanted to find victory, and I did find it.
Wow, what a top deck for Branka. Jess just
no, I'm pretty sure I did that.
2 games to 0 for Branka. Wow.
I did that.
Incredible scenes as Caroline takes the credit for something that she had no control over whatsoever.
100% my doing. Pre-recorded match. Nope.
Wow.
Yep. Wait, isn't it? It's probably worse if I take like responsibility because then it's like collusion. So never mind.
It's way worse. Keep digging, Caroline. I'll send you a shovel.
I'm being fired anyway, according to Twitch chat. So
that's true.
Might as well go out.
All right. Well, that was a really nice top deck there from Branka to close out game number 2. She is going to be moving on to the top 16. Congratulations to her. As for Bloody Mess Dress, great run, of course, to get here to the playoffs. And well played and awesome to see Bloody Mess Dress bring such an innovative deck as well in the playoff rounds.
Yeah.
That is going to do it for our feature matches from this evening. So thank you to everybody for joining us. Let's just throw out all of our list of people to thank. NRG Series, our WPN store partner. This VML would not be possible without them. Wizards of the Coast, of course, for being our awesome sponsors. CFB for giving some CFB Pro subscriptions to our top 8 this season, and a huge thank you to everybody behind the scenes. Phoebe, our awesome producer. Check out Phoebe's Twitter and Twitch and go and support Phoebe because she's amazing. Thank you to the whole team at VML, the admin team, Judge Max, to all of our players, and to all of you lovely viewers, as well as Caroline, my favorite and best co-caster of all time.
Okay, that sounded pretty genuine. It was good.
What?
I don't know.
All right.
You told me mid-episode that I was fired, so I'm just checking.
Hey, I did not give Twitch chat firing authority.
Okay. They're allowed to say
They can ask for whatever they want, but frankly, they're going to have to get in the queue.
Okay, that's good. I'm just checking.
All right. Caroline, if people want to come and find you in an uncancelled way, how can they find you on the internet?
Oh, I love the internet. So you can find me on Twitter at MaiLinguini, just right above me. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/TheMaiLinguini. I stream on Wednesdays. I'll say that with confidence. And then some other days of the week as a surprise. And rumor has it sometimes I even play Magic.
Wow.
Sometimes.
What? Stop the presses.
I know. It's crazy.
All right. Well, I've been Haiyue. I'm at Nifet on Twitter. You can get in touch with me if you want to, I don't know, make any complaints about the casting team of the VML this season. Actually, send those requests to Phoebe. You don't have to send this to me. And otherwise, you can find me hanging around the tournament sphere, just covering tournaments here, there, and everywhere. All right, that's going to do it from the VML this evening. Definitely come and check it out next week. We are going to be having the round of 16, which is going to be the last week before the final. So next week, round of 16, and then in the final week, we're going to be doing the entire top 8. So
and I'm actually excited because you alluded to it earlier, but we're going to focus on the college winners, which I think will kind of wrap up our little themed Strixhaven VML season. So I'm pretty excited to kind of check in with all those players and see how they're doing.
Yeah. So make sure you don't miss out next Friday, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And we hope you have a great week.
Bye.